Today's Good Morning Angels all about baby Theunsie from Vanderbijl Park. En die persoon, die eerste Engels, soos ek altyd sê, wat vir ons geskryf het, is Karina Pretorius. Karina, baie welkom. Hoe gaan met jou?
Het gaan goed, dankie, môre Martin.
En ek neem aan, dis baba Theunsie.
Dis baba Theunsie.
Hoekom het jy vir ons geskryf?
My sus, Anita, het hierdie klein mannetjie ingevat toe hy net 4 dae oud was. Op 'n baie spesiale datum was my oorlede man se 2 jaar anniversary op die 4de Februarie en hulle het my skoene, die mat onder my uitgeruk toe hulle my laat weet het hulle het hierdie mannetjie ingeneem en hulle het besluit om hom Theunsie te noem, spesifiek oor daai datum. En dit is nou die nuwe man in my lewe. Ek kan nie vir julle beskryf nie. Ek het 'n 29-jarige seun van my eie, vir wie ek net so baie lief is. Hy is soos my eie. Ek spot altyd as ek van Alberton af terugry, dan stop ek eers daar, dan moet ek eers my tank vol tap vir die week. En dan kan ek weer hou tot die volgende besoek.
What a story. The backstory is just shocking, really. I mean, vertel vir ons die storie.
Okay, Theunsie is op 31 Januarie gebore. Ja.
Hy weet jy praat van hom.
Hy weet.
Yes, me.
En my sus hulle is gekontak deur Vereniging Welsyn omdat haar huis geregistreer is as 'n veilige hawe. Hulle het haar laat inkom. Sy het eers gesê nee, sy kan nie nog 'n baba inneem nie of 'n kind inneem nie. Kom ek gee vir mamma. Kom. En sy het die dame gesien by Vereniging Welsyn en toe gesê, okay nee, net tot die maandag moet hulle nuwe ouers kry. Sy sal hom vat vir die naweek. En tot hulle hom in haar arms gesit het en sy hierdie klein piep 1.8 kg babatjie in haar arms vashou. Toe kon sy nie nee sê nie.
En ewe skielik is sy nou weer rustig.
En nou sy
Anita,
die linkerarm.
you just have that touch.
Ja, left arm.
Tell me your story. You've got a child of your own.
I've got a son of 13.
Yes.
And then I've got 3 foster kids. The one is 15, the oldest, Wesley. Wesley is in high school now. He's the longest with me. He's almost 9 years with me. I know him since he was 3 years old.
Yes.
So when his previous foster parents couldn't look after me anymore, it was just naturally that he has to come to us.
So they contacted you and said...
No. They were our next door neighbours and they got divorced. And then Wesley was moved from one home to another between the mother and father. And then I just said, you know, this kid is so clever. What future is he going to have? And so we talked to him and he said, nobody wants to stay with me and my husband. Because it was only us 2 in the house then. And I said, well, you're more than welcome. And then we just went and asked, you know, this is what's happening, can he stay with us? And they said, yeah, sure. And from then, he's staying with us.
Your own son, 2 foster kids, and then they contacted you about Theunsie?
Yes. The Friday morning they phoned me and they said they found this baby. And
they found him?
They found him, yes. And they need a foster family to look after him. And I said, you know what, I've got then Ethan was 4 years old. So it's difficult, and I'm working full-time at that stage. So, you know, it's difficult to have a little baby. And what do I have for a little baby? I mean, my son is 30 years old. You don't have any nappies or anything. So I said no, and then after a while she phoned me again and she said, you know what, if you can't help, we sit with the problem. It's a weekend.
Where did they find him?
They found him, the public phoned the police there's like a old car wreck in a field. They found him there with dogs. He was left there only in his nappy. And then the police phoned the ambulance, and the ambulance found the social worker.
What do you mean he was found in a car wreck?
It's like an old car that's in the field left there. No,
by himself?
With dogs, yes.
With dogs?
Yes, there were dogs in the car as well.
So he was abandoned?
He was abandoned.
In a field?
Yes.
Whose dogs were they?
We don't know. Don't have family dogs, it's 3 dogs.
And he was there by himself?
There by himself.
How long has he been there?
We don't know. I think he was quite a while because when they
Days?
found him, days, definitely days. His coxie there was no skin on. The ants already started eating him. His face, his body, everything was full of marks. He couldn't suck. He was dehydrated, only a nappy. So when they gave him to me at the welfare, you know, when you saw that little face, yeah, you just know.
It's history.
Yeah.
And then he got sick. He had this rumbling in his throat, and we thought maybe
Yeah,
he's
since day
got
one.
pneumonia or something. And then he went to hospital. In April he was in hospital, and they treated him for bronchitis, for pneumonia,
Collapsed
for a collapsed lung, for everything. And he was sent home. And the second time it was in August. That he stopped breathing at school.
In the
And
creche, yeah.
at the creche, he stopped breathing. They phoned her. She took him straight to hospital. They admitted him. And while he was there, the Sunday, the pediatrician was with him, and he stopped breathing again. So they rushed him to ICU, and while he was there, the pediatrician said she wants to refer him to a doctor in Alberton. That was on the 20th of September. I took them through to Alberton. We saw the doctor there, and he did a scope in his rooms, and that's when we saw that he's got a very narrow airway. He's got a floppy voice box. We saw the tumor in his throat, and I don't know what you call your klein tongetjie, was vibrating on his airway, and that was causing that rumble in his throat.
How did it happen? Do you know the backstory?
I know the history of the parents.
So they're still around?
They're still around. They don't, like I said, there's an order. They're not allowed any contact, any visiting. But I know the history with the mother and father are heroin addicts. So with him, when we saw the doctor and they discovered the tumor, they first said, okay, we're going to admit you in Alberton, we need care. We did everything, ICU, signed the papers, they want to operate that night to take out this tumor. And we were on our way to ICU when the lady came and said, no, doctor said stop everything. So we said, okay, must we go back to vereniging? What must we do?
Why?
We didn't know at that stage, why? And we said, okay, well, then we're going home.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going on. And we went to the car, and luckily she remembered she didn't pay the ticket for the gate. So she went back, and while she went back, my phone rang, and it was the doctor, and he said, you know what, he has to go and see Dr. Makepeace at Sandton Mediclinic. I said, okay, give me information, then I'll make a point. He said, no, you don't understand, they're waiting for you in ICU. You better get there.
Oh, wow.
So I said, okay, and luckily she was with me, because me and traffic is bad. So she drove. When we got there at Sandton, I started the admission and said, okay, he's going to ICU. And they said, okay, no, she must take him up so long while I'd finished the paperwork. So when she went up, Dr. Makepeace was waiting for them, and Dr. Jones, the pediatrician. And they said they can't believe, they thought if you look at the video of the tumor, this blue baby is coming in, and he looked like this.
And he,
yeah, and the only thing you could see, he's got stridor. That was the only thing. Stridor is when you can't breathe.
And I'm presuming being left to fend for yourself as, you know, a couple of months old in the middle of a field.
Couple of days.
Couple of days.
He was days.
Must affect your immune system, surely. Yes. I mean, couple of months old.
Yes.
It's just, not that it's all important, but is there an explanation? I mean, did you ever get to speak to them? Did anyone speak to them? Did they speak? Did they try and even?
No. When There was actually 2 court cases with him. The first one to give him just temporarily to me for the while before the big case. And the thing is, they're drug addicts. They don't know, what's more important for you is your fix now. So you don't care what you're doing to anybody else.
So when they contacted you, said, jy weet jy wat, ek het nou klaar 3 kinders in die huis. Ek het nie babaklere en doeke goeders nie.
Nothing.
But then I'm presuming after a while, it's like, how do you let go again?
That's the thing when, I didn't have anything, and then the welfare gave me a vest and a pants for him. And then when I got him, I took him to Mediclinic, vereniging where I worked. And I took him to neonatal, and the sister just checked us through and waiting for us, and she gave me some vest out of neonatal stock because I don't have anything for him. And friends of my son who just had a baby, they gave me some things at least. And when I phoned her, she, her family,
Future daughter-in-law and her mom, sorry, they have a creche in Alberton. And within 2 days,
yes,
I had a carload of baby stuff, nappies,
Amazing.
cleaning stuff. They still have crates on top of their cupboards with, this one is marked wet wipes, this one is marked cleaning products. The nappies are stacked roof
He kept
high.
into the hearts of the entire community.
Everybody.
When I received him and took him to Mediclinic, at that stage I worked in theatre, and the staff like this, they were busy preparing for one of the matrons who's going to have a baby, and they said, no, take all this cleaning stuff, you take, we will give you money. Oh, nice. And awesome. One of the male sisters that worked with me, he and his wife both are nurses there, and they said, no, we're supplying the milk for you.
That's incredible.
And they went to the pharmacy for 6 months, and they got milk for him for 6 months.
Are you legally now his
yes.
His guardian?
Yes, I'm legally his guardian. Like I said, usually they give the children to foster care for 2 years. And then they go and look, is the parents rehabilitated? Can the child go back to them? And then they decide from there. In his case, when we did the second court case, the judge said, there's no ways. He stayed till he's 18, finished. So he's with me permanent, and Wesley. Both of them.
Do you still get emotional when you think of the story?
Yes. I do. Me being a nurse, I know that people that's addicted, they don't care about anything. My problem is if you want to go and do heroin or whatever, go, do it. If you want to overdose, go. I don't care.
Baby.
But the babies, think about your children. If you know you're a drug addict, go for sterilization, go for injection. Because if he's like this, how is the rest of the children? How is the children to be? What's happening to them? He was the lucky one, but when he got ill the first time, I had to take him to the States Hospital because he wasn't on my medical aid. We still waited for the court order. And he couldn't breathe, nothing, and they said, sorry, we can't help you, there's no bed. We don't have the things to help you. And I took him home, and we got from Mediclinic, gave us an oxygen bottle to lend, and one of the sisters in pediatric gave us some inhalations that we can use just to help him to breathe. And I had to nurse him like that for 3 days at home. Then the court order came through. And when we sent it to the medical aid, that same afternoon, they let me know, you can take him to the hospital. And he was admitted straight away.
Dis moeilik om te dink mense kan dit doen, hè?
Yes, ja. Dit is my skrikwekkend hoe vinnig mense hulle verantwoordelikheid net kan los. Wat ek's belangriker is my verantwoordelikheid.
Weet jy, Martin, ek kan vir jou by sê, toe hy nou September maand in Mediclinic in Sandton die eerste keer was en hulle hom geïntubeer het en hulle hom aan die slaap moes hou, hy het 'n dosis gekry vir 'n 16-jarige kind om hom te laat slaap, omdat hy immuun is teen al hierdie drugs wat in sy stelsel was. Hulle moes dit kort aanpas om hom te laat slaap, want hy het wakker geword.
Ja,
Hy het wakker geword waar hy pyp uit sy keel uittrek.
As hulle iemand op 'n ventilator sit soos vir hom, met jy verskillende medikasies wat jy gebruik in verskillende tegnieke, afhangende wat die dokter wil hê.
Ja.
En Dr. Jones hulle wou hom basies paralyzed hê. dat hy nie beweeg nie, want hierdie buis kon nie diep genoeg in verby die tumor nie, want jy is bang jy perforeer die tumor, so hy's net in. En hulle het hom op medikasie gesit wat ons in teater gebruik om mense te paralyse voor narkose. En hy was wakker. Ek het video's op my foon waar hy lê met sy voete en speel in sy hande.
Unbelievable.
Op hierdie goed.
Because he's immune to it, because what was in his system already.
He's got a very quick drug metabolism.
Of course.
If he's got fever, I can't give him Bernardo. It only helps for 5 minutes.
Cannot imagine.
You can't give him anything. Even his medications, it only helps for a while.
I can tell there's a lot of love around him now. Between the two of you and your husband, he's also...
My husband is a superstar. He stands up at evening and makes his bottles and
Wat is daai? Wat is die
changes him and...
Ja, wat is dit?
Mumu.
Of course it is. Theunsie, waar's Mumu? Waar's Mumu?
Nee, ek soek die linkerarm.
Die linkerarm.
He wants the left arm.
Okay. You're a great team and so much love for him.
Oh, yes.
But you know what? It's Good Morning Angels Festive Edition. So I'm happy to say, krijg jy van Mumu? I'm happy to say that there's more love from our partners, and this is the part where I introduce you to Carl Stolzer. Carl, welcome on Good Morning Angels Festive Edition.
Thanks, Martin.
Carl
Thanks
being from Roman's Pizza. Was geen vir kans vir Theunsie daar sy. Maar ek is net daarmee gewees in die linkerarm. Left arm. Really? Okay, well there it works. You were so right. Jy het vir hulle goeie nuus.
Yeah, so firstly, thank you for having us on the show, Martin. Really appreciate it. And just to Anita, to Karina, you know, you guys, for me, are superstars. I mean, what you're doing for little Theunsie, few people in the world do, taking the time out of day. And just from the Romans family, we would love to help ease the burden over the festive season by giving you 35,000 in cash. So hopefully that'll bring a bit of peace and, you know, let you buy the necessary things needed for little Theunsie so he gets a speedy recovery to having as normal as possible childhood. For us, that would be huge. And just on top of that as well, from Cleo's Kitchen, we would like to sponsor you a couple of hearty homemade meals just to help you and the family, you know, have a good festive season. But like I said, thank you so much for making my day and stepping up and seeing people like you know, coming forward and looking after little kids like us. So this for me, it's not a heart-wrenching story, it's an awesome story. For me, it's really, really an awesome story.
Thank you very much.
So thank you guys. That's, you know, you're an inspiration to a lot of people.
Julle is beslis 'n inspirasie.
Ja.
Kyk na mekaar, vat van daai geskenk en kry vir jou iets.
Oh, thank you. You know, jy weet, ek dink my 3 kinders is die grootste geskenk in die wêreld. Ek kan nie my lewe indink sonder hulle nie. Ek is, soos ek gesê het, ek's 'n verpleegster, so jy's 'n carer, 'n natuurlike carer. My ma het leukemie gehad en ek het na haar gekyk. En toe sy oorlede en 'n paar jaar later is my pa siek en weer. En toe is my pa oorlede en net daarna te kry vir Wesley. Ek dink dit is net daai instinct. Jy weet, jy moet iemand hê.
Kyk sy genoeg na haarself.
Nee, sy doen nie. Ek kan dit beloof, Martin, want daai mensies is nommer 1 op haar lys. En selfs toe my man oorlede is, was sy daar vir my.
Dit sy nodig.
Ek weet nie.
Net liefde en ondersteuning.
Nee, dit kry jy elke dag.
Dis daar.
Ek weet nie.
Maak seker sy gebruik van daai geld.
Ek sal.
Vir haarself ook.
Ek sal.
Sal jy
Ek sal
doen?
definitief.
Anita, jy en Karina, what an inspiration. Thanks for being a Good Morning Angels.
Thank you for you guys having us.
Theunsie in die linkerarm.
Ja, in die linkerarm. Sien?
Thank you, Roman's Pizza.
Thanks.
You're always
you
welcome.
so
It's such a pleasure to welcome you, sister.
Good job, Angels. Good job.
Good Morning Angels. Breakfast with Martin Bester. 6 to 9 weekdays. Exclusive to Jacaranda FM.